Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today here on WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, and I am your digital news desk host. Man, oh man, has it been a crazy Wednesday? I mean, from the moment that I got here to the studio and to our newsroom, some of the stories that have already happened for the day has just been it's been a wild ride, especially when we look at the information that we received about the messages that were uncovered from the Goon Squad. And we're going to be talking about those in just a little bit. But some absolutely horrible things that were said in that message chat, message thread, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to be going over that in just a little bit. I do appreciate you joining me here today, whether you are joining me on WLBT.com, on our news app, on Facebook. We do have several people joining us here on Facebook or on our YouTube page. We stream this different type of newscast, so it gives us an opportunity to talk with you guys real time as we put the news out. If you have questions, if you have comments, anything like that, I welcome you to either visit our stream on Facebook or on YouTube, and you can leave those messages there. Read them while I'm on air with you guys. And of course, I follow them. So if there's any questions that I can't answer when you ask them, I will do my best to get back with you. First thing we're going to look at today, though, before we jump into the news, is take a look at what it looks like outside right now in downtown Jackson. We've got beautiful blue skies. The sun is shining. It looks very nice out there. And from what I've been told from Peyton, is that the temperature is a little cooler than what we've experienced over the past week. We're going to have some more of those cooler days, but we will have a rain in the forecast. Peyton will be in just a little bit, though, to give us an update on our forecast. So let's just go right on ahead and jump straight into the news of things that have happened so far today here in Jackson in Mississippi and our surrounding area. So there was a deadly shooting that happened near Mini Mart on Lindsay Drive, and we have new information about that shooting that happened. So what we know now is that Jackson police are investigating the death that occurred in the shooting. It was around 10 o'clock last night. I'm going to pull it up here on the screen for you so you can see where Lindsay Drive is. So here is Lindsay Drive. We have the M&M Mini Mart little convenience store right here where the shooting happened. If I zoom out here with the map, it'll show you where it is in relation to downtown Jackson. We have a downtown Jackson right here, and the shooting happened right here on Lindsay Drive. So that the police are now investigating that, and let me get this pulled up for you. It always happens, technical issues right when I am jumping onto the show. Don't you love the way that happens in life? So the shooting happened around 10 o'clock last night, and that was near the Mini Mart here on Lindsay Road. There was one individual who lost his life in the shooting, and his name is, I apologize for this. You guys, let me get this pulled up for you. Here we go. So the victim is Damian Johnson. They found that he had been shot multiple times when they arrived there at the Mini Mart. So this is the scene there last night. Now, JPD says that at this time, the chief major of investigation says that there is no suspect information at this time, and it is an ongoing investigation. If you have any information on what happened last night, at 10 o'clock on Lindsay Drive here in Jackson, you are asked to call the Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers and share that information with them. Tamika Forrest is joining us today here on Facebook. She says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well, Tamika. And Crystal Croson is also joining us, and she says, good afternoon as well. Hello, Crystal. It's so nice for you to join me. I do appreciate you guys jumping on here with me and chatting with me so far. So there was a in Vicksburg. There was also a homicide that happened. So it is coming out of uh, Vicksburg. The police there are saying that a homicide happened just after 11 o'clock last night. According to the police, officers were sent to Locust Street for the shooting, and they found a man laying in the street there with a gunshot wound to his chest. He was unfortunately pronounced dead at the scene by the Warren County coroner, Doug Husky. Now, this is the only information we have about this at the time. We are working to get more details, and we will give that to you as soon as it comes available to us. Don't forget, you can always download the WLBT news app, and you can stream not only all of our newscasts, but you will get alerts when we have breaking news and stories that are additional information for stories that we have already reported on. So just download our app. You can also watch all of our newscasts, stream it in real time, or you can go back and watch it on demand if you are unable to watch it in real time. It's one of the great things about it. So, murder suspects were captured and arrested. Two Jackson murder suspects, actually. So, the man that was wanted for murder that happened, the murder, the information on it broke last Friday. We broke that here on WLBT Plus. That his name is Tanari Moore, and he has been taken into custody. He actually surrendered himself to federal authorities on Tuesday morning. Here's a picture of him on the screen. He is the prime suspect in the death of Larry Reynolds. So he surrendered his bond during a bond hearing that he had yesterday at 2 o'clock. We told you about that. And so what that means is that he is in jail right now. By surrendering his bond, it means that he is giving up the initial bond that was set for him, which he was out on, which was $10,000. So court documents show that his case, the federal case that he had or has, is connected with two other federal cases. In one, former interim Hinds County Sheriff Martian Chrysler was indicted for selling or giving ammunition to a convicted felon. And the other alleges that former JPD officer Torrance Mayfield sold a gun to a convicted felon. And that convicted felon being Tanari Moore. That's what the information we have on it right now. We will update you with more information as soon as we get that here into the station. And the suspect who was wanted for the murder that happened on Medgar Evers Boulevard has been taken into custody. So his name is Jeremiah Hampton. We've told you about this shooting that happened on Medgar Evers Boulevard. There was a witness at a convenience store that was just across from there. He says the individual, the one that died, and the shooter who has been arrested, he saw him go up to him, shoot him, heard the gunshot, saw the man laying on the ground, and went to give him aid until officers arrived. He did unfortunately pass away later at the hospital from his wounds. But since then, police have been looking for Jeremiah Hampton. He was arrested on Tuesday. Juan Taylor is the individual that he killed on Medgar Evers Boulevard, and that did happen last Wednesday. Investigators said that the murder investigation is also connected to a shooting and a fire at a home in Clinton, which we told you about last Friday. We are keeping an eye on this. We don't know yet if he's going to have be issued a bond, but we are watching and waiting to get the information. As soon as we get it, we're going to let you guys know about it. So, looking here on our Facebook page, I see, it says we're here for the Goon Squad messages. I understand that. And we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But I promise you, it is something you want to stick around for. It is absolutely, Well, as Amelia says, it is revolting. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in here to WLBT Plus today. There was two people are now dead over in Holmes County following two separate shootings that has happened in the last 48 hours, and they happened within 14 miles of each other. They mark the fifth and sixth homicides of the year for that county. So, according to Holmes County Sheriff Willie March, the first shooting happened Monday morning on. Apologize. The first shooting happened Monday morning at a Shell gas station that's just off of I-55 North in Durant. The sheriff says that the argument started in front of the building, led to 26-year-old Devonta Harmon being shot in the head. Harmon died on the way to the hospital. Then the second shooting happened at noon at Good Haven Manor Apartments over in Goodman. The Holmes County coroner says that's where 24-year-old Rebreka Kitchens was shot and killed by her boyfriend. The Sheriff March says the department's goal is to avoid the 12 homicide mark that it saw last year, but senseless gun violence is making that very challenging for his county.
We still hoping that we don't reach that 12 mark this year, but where it's going is we head in that direction again, or even higher if people don't start using common sense. People being tried, being convicted, and receiving life sentence, and that still don't seem to stop there.
Sheriff March says that both suspects of that are in each case have been arrested and will make their initial court appearance within the next 24 hours. We're going to be watching that, and we're still working on getting the names and the mugshots of the individuals, but we will bring those to you as soon as we get them in here to our station. Now, we told you yesterday about the crime spree that happened over in Canton, and it is appearing that all of the shootings that happened in Canton could possibly be connected. So, they have seen 5 homicides so far this year in the city of Canton. And of course, the authorities there are calling it, as well as the people that are living in Canton, calling it senseless violence, which, anytime someone is murdered, gunshots, anything, it is always senseless violence. But the Canton Police Chief, Otha Brown, said that the first shooting happened early Monday morning, and it claimed the life of 50-year-old Nathan Smith. So, Chief Brown says that Nathan Smith was ambushed on George Washington and Boyd Street, where he was shot multiple times. Later that day, 2 people were shot by 2 men wearing ski masks on Harrington Drive while playing a game of pool. And then shortly after that, another shooting victim had to be airlifted to a hospital after being shot on Canal Street.
We were able to recover a car yesterday that they say that was in the shooting that took place on Harrington Drive. It was a little gray car. It didn't have a license plate on it. We called in MBI and had them to investigate that for us because of when the 3 males exit the car, they had large guns and all, and my officer was on scene, happened to have taken a shot at them because of they got out and was pointing guns at her.
Now, if you have any information on any of these crimes that occurred in Canton yesterday, within the past 24 to 48 hours, please call the Canton Police Department or Crime Stoppers. And they say that you will be able to remain anonymous when calling that in. So let's talk about the Goon Squad. I know that is what you guys are here to talk about, these the stories of the chat that has been released between these guys. So they had everything in this text message thread, which this was reported by the New York Times and Mississippi Today. That was reported earlier this morning. In that text thread, it was a private text thread. They had everything between vacation photos, cookout invitations, as well as trading pictures of rotten corpses, and joked about the essay or assault of persons and shocking people with tasers. I say essay or assault because I cannot say those words on social media or they will get blocked. They did not get blocked, though, in these text message threads with these officers. Here's the big thing about it. All of these text messages and the thread with the text messages included supervisors in the chat thread, text message thread, and some of those supervisors actually even joined in on the joking, the jokes that were being traded back and forth at the expense of other people. So it's an encrypted WhatsApp group chat, and like I told you earlier, it was obtained by the New York Times and Mississippi Today, and it provided years long, not just for a small time period, but years long record of day-to-day conversations of this patrol unit that is involved in terrorizing residents here in East Mississippi, or Central Mississippi, rather. I apologize for about a generation. It's the Goon Squad. You know these guys. They were arrested, they were tried, they were convicted, they were sentenced. Justice was served both on a state level and on a federal level with these guys. But the chat thread that came out, y'all, it is horrible. It is. I can't imagine someone making these jokes or doing some of the things that were reported and thinking that in any way, shape, fashion, or form that it would ever be okay to do that. So I'm getting it opened up right here so you guys can see, just in case you don't remember the Goon Squad. We have them here. Opening this up for you guys. So, why is it giving me a small picture? This is the Goon Squad. And let me see if I can get a bigger picture for you guys. But these are the guys that were arrested and, like I said, charged and sentenced for the egregious crimes that they did to two Black men here in Rankin County. So they came to national attention last year after, like I said, after the torture of the two Black men. Ended up shooting one of them in the face, nearly killing him. So the 6 officers, including 3 from the Goon Squad shift, pled guilty and were sentenced in March. So this investigation that was done by the New York Times and Mississippi Today revealed that nearly 24 residents experienced similar brutality when Rankin County deputies burst into their homes looking for illegal drugs. Most of the deputies in the chat have not been charged in the WhatsApp chat that they revealed. And some have not been accused of violence or other illegal behavior. And several deputies said that their comments were jokes and denied doing anything illegal. At least 9 of these deputies that are in this chat that was revealed are still working at the department. They, so the text thread, which has contents that has not been previously reported, shows how they just chatted away, talked with each other about ways to humiliate or brutalize criminal suspects. Like literally they would send messages inviting to cookouts, messages of family, vacation messages, questions about time cards. And in between all there is these just gross. Okay. There's no other way. Well, there are a lot of other ways to describe it, but I can't say those words, but it just absolutely gross, horrifying, chats between them. So there was racist comments about Mexicans. There was memes talking about women as sexual objects. And it was more than a dozen deputies who were part of the same unit receiving these group texts. So in November of 2019, the department came under review for 3 fatal shootings that involved Goon Squad members. The deputies discussed their work, turning their work into a game. 1 point for every arrest. There is some additional stuff here that I'm seeing that I did not read earlier. So Deputy Cody Grogan asked the group how many points he would get if he shot someone. And Lieutenant Jeffrey Middleton, who is the shift supervisor, says it depends if they die or not. And the deputy Luke Stigman responded with, "They'll die." I can't think properly with reading this stuff. It is horrible. And these are messages between these guys, the officers, the deputies, and the supervisors there at the sheriff's station. So Mr. Grogan no longer works at the department, but he said in an interview that his text messages were absolutely all jokes. He said, "People that know me know that's not going to happen. I'm not going to go out and shoot anybody," he said. Mr. Stickman, who left the department last year, did not respond to requests for comments. Carlos Tanner, who is a lawyer for Mr. Middleton, who is now in prison, declined to comment on his client's behalf. Deputies in the chat also discussed taking nude pictures of women they arrested. They made plans to rough up people they disliked or suspected of crimes. They urged one another to shock people's private parts with tasers. And one shared a video of a deputy defecating on someone's bed. So when deputies encountered people who had died, whether it be by suicide, by homicide, or in a car crash, they sometimes shared pictures of the deceased and compared states of decomposition or joked that they should have an indecent interaction with them. So in May of 2022, Deputy Zachary Cotton posted pictures of a man's body that was found in Robin Hood, which is a impoverished neighborhood, has a lot of rundown trailers there, makeshift shacks. It says the deputies often targeted that area for drug raids. But they posted a picture of the man's body. He was decomposing, and Deputy Hunter Hook responded in the comment, "That's hot." Lieutenant Middleton replied, "Poke him with the stick." And Deputy Cook wrote, $5 if you take a selfie with him and your arm around him. Now, Mr. Cook, who no longer works in law enforcement, said that he was not proud of these texts. It is common for police officers to exchange off-color jokes about their work. He said, "We see dead bodies all the time. That's kind of how we deal with stuff." You might also consider speaking with a, professional if you find the need to joke about stuff like that. He also said that he distanced himself from his colleagues accused of torturing people. He said, "Had I known they were doing stuff like that, I probably wouldn't have made jokes like that." We should hope not. Deputy Cotton, who still works for the department, said that he and his colleagues traded pictures of dead people out of curiosity, but not to share them outside of the chat group. He said, "It's the stuff you see on the job. It's not against the law. I didn't make any vulgar comments about it." That's what Deputy Cotton has said. Well, Jason Dare is an attorney for the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, and he said the department planned to issue a statement about the group chat on a Wednesday morning. So WhatsApp encrypts its messages and it protects the user's privacy. Messages are sent through the app and are not centrally recorded, and therefore it was pretty difficult to obtain if users deleted them. There is a lot more, and what we're going to do real quick, we're going to come back to this so you guys don't leave, but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a look at our forecast with Peyton Garrison, and then we're going to come back and finish up following up on these messages that have come through. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
First Alert Weather Team, 3 on your side, in Mississippi's most trusted station during severe weather. Sponsored by Environment Masters. Watch WLBT live and on demand with the WLBT News Channel, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and YouTube TV. Download the WLBT News Channel and watch Mississippi's most trusted station for news and weather. WLBT is Mississippi's most trusted station during severe weather.
Thank you guys for sticking around here with WLBT Plus. We are joined real quick with Peyton Garrison. She is with our First Alert weather team to let us know what we can expect over the next few hours.
Well, we're in pretty good shape right now for most of the area, but we're starting to enter a weather pattern where it's going to be very summer-like in a sense, and overall just very active. We have some rain starting to move in across parts of the area, especially the farther west that you go, and we will continue to see scattered showers and storms from here on out for the rest of this afternoon. Right now, most of the activity is confined very close to the Mississippi River around Port Gibson and northward out towards Claiborne and southern Warren County. You may see some locally heavy rainfall with any of this activity starting to spread eastward, and even some rumbles of thunder as well. This is the trend that we're starting to go into, where there will be a daily chance for some rain and some storms. I'm also watching some storms out in Louisiana, just south of Alexandria. This one has a severe thunderstorm warning attached to it as it tracks eastward. If that one holds together, it might bring impacts into far southwest Mississippi. So Wilkinson County, just a heads up, maybe even Adams County as well. We could be looking at some rain and some thunderstorms around that area as well. So it's going to be a forecast over the next several days just to keep that rain gear close by, because you never know when you need it with any of these random pop-up downpours or even thunderstorms.
But of course, if they download the First Alert weather app,
Yes.
you guys are here and they will get notifications really like almost down to the mile where
Yeah.
you're located
Yeah.
if the severe weather is heading your way.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good tool today, this weekend, next week, where we do have that daily chance of rain. You know, on the app, you can look at the interactive radar and specific to your location. You can also allow it to follow your location as well. So if we are able to see any sort of active warnings or severe weather, you would be notified due to your location if you were possibly under one of those warnings. And if we could see some of those around here the next couple of days, wind and hail would be the primary concern. So again, the app is a really good tool, not just to check out the radar, but to also get notified for any type of severe weather as well.
Can you tell us what we're going to look like over the next few days as far as temperature and forecast goes?
So today it's a little on the warmer side. It's not going to be nearly as hot today as what we've seen the past couple of days. Yesterday we made it to 94 degrees. We're also at 94 Monday as well. Today's still kind of warm, near 90, but we're on a down decrease in terms of our temperatures. Today more so in the 80s, but I mean this weekend, a better chance of rain and storms, but the heat shouldn't be too terribly too bad. Lower middle 80s for afternoon high temperatures this Saturday and Sunday. So while the chance of rain will be going up, our temperatures will actually be coming down just a little bit. But again, that slightly cooler weather will come along with some rain and some possible storms.
It is a part of summertime here in the South, even though we're not officially in summer, but we're real close.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Peyton. We're going to jump back to a commercial break real quick so we can switch gears. And then we're going to jump back into the story that we guys are telling you about with the Goon Squad and those messages that were released. Thank you, Peyton.
Thank you.
WLBT is Mississippi's breaking news leader.
I watch WLBT every morning. I really trust WLBT to give me what I need to know.
WLBT has really been part of my family.
You can always turn it on to watch the news and the weather.
They keep me abreast of everything that's happening in my community.
They're an honest news network.
Maggie Wade. Maggie Wade is my favorite anchor.
Carmen Poe, she's very funny. I like her jokes.
Watch WLBT. Thank you.
And we are back. I am back. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, especially you guys on Facebook. I see you all there. I see your comments, and I greatly appreciate you guys sticking around. So I'm just going to go through some of the comments, what you guys are saying about this information that was released this morning regarding the Goon Squad. So here we go. We have Elise McCoy said, "This is so sad. I am really disgusted. This is so why I am afraid to travel to Pearl, Brandon, and my son is afraid of being targeted." I hate that for you so much, Elise. We have more comments. We have a Rashad Crump says, "To know we live and exist around sick people like this is truly mind-blowing." I appreciate you watching as well. And then, we got a lot of people saying how mad they are about this happening. And you know what? I'm right there with you. I am very mad about this happening, because this is something that should never happen, and it is definitely not something that you ever want to see or hear about or read happening between law enforcement that take the oath to uh, protect and serve. So, coming back to the story here for the Goon Squad. Now we know that during court hearings in March, federal prosecutors noted that members of the group used WhatsApp to plan a 2023 raid, during which they shot Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker with tasers, assaulted them with a adult toy, and then shot Mr. Jenkins in the mouth. This is the crime that got them sentenced from federal charges and on state charges. This is a crime that finally got them put away. And it was, they discussed it and made plans for it on the WhatsApp chat thread. So, Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey has said that he was not aware of these allegations of violence against his deputies over the years, and that he did not know anything about the Goon Squad moniker. Now, we don't know if Brian Bailey was a part of this group chat. We know other supervisors, it's being reported that other supervisors were a part of this group chat. But here's something that they created, that they shared amongst each other, and this is it is a almost like a little medallion, a little coin, and it says Lieutenant Middleton's Goon Squad. They had this made and shared with each other. Okay, and Lieutenant Middleton was in that chat. And actually, it says here what they did was they called Sheriff Bailey, referred to him by his badge number, which is 1. And they wrote in it, I'm not sure how 1 will feel about the Goon Squad. So obviously, he was not in the chat. That Lieutenant Middleton wrote that. I'm not sure how 1, being the Sheriff Bailey, would feel about it. That's when they created this coin, and they gave it to deputies as Christmas gifts in 2022. It has cartoon gangsters on it. I'm going to go back to you so you can see it. And of course, says Lieutenant Middleton's Goon Squad. So that year for Christmas, Lieutenant Middleton posted in the chat, he said, "Merry Christmas, Goons." Of course, he is now serving a 17-and-a-half-year prison sentence for his role in the tortures. Now, many of the text messages in the thread did come across as jokes. Some refer to specific arrests and suspects, but they don't make it clear whether deputies actually carried out or did not carry out the violence that they discussed within the chat. In 2022, deputies text about roughing up a man arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. And Hunter Elward wrote in the chat, said, "Did you tase him in the face?" Daniel Opdyke asked if they had shocked the man in his private area. All of the neighborhood I said all the neighbors were outside watching. Deputy Cook responded in the chat, adding that if it had been more of a secluded area, the suspect would have gotten more lovings. Now, former Deputy Elward and Opdyke, they are in prison for the crimes that they committed or as part of the Goon Squad. And here are 3 of them, or 6 of them right here you can see on the screen. It says that Jeffrey Reynolds, who is Mr. Opdyke's lawyer, said that he had been unable to immediately reach his client, but that obviously tasing someone in the private is wrong and very disturbing. Again, you can read all of the words that I'm having to kind of edit out or change what they are for what they really said in our story due to social media guidelines and the video. I don't want to get this video blocked or banned on social media. So, but you can go and check it out on our website. So, Mr. Took also text in this thread said in aggravation because the suspect was accused of abusing a child. He said, I didn't do anything that was illegal or anything like that to him. So other violent acts that they talked about or discussed were also reported by residents that had experienced or witnessed raids in which the deputies restrained suspects or drove them to remote locations, beat them, threatened to kill them, or shocked them with tasers in the face and the genital area. And many of the assaults had been directed by the department's then chief investigator, Brett McAlpin, who is in jail. He was identified as the ringleader of the Goon Squad. In 2020, the deputies text about what to do to a man that they suspected had been involved in a hit and run case. Deputy Grogan said or offered a quote that he attributed to chief investigator, "Nothing scares a man like kidnapping him." Brett McAlpin. Deputy Grogan wrote that. So he wrote it as if he was just repeating what Brett McAlpin has said. Deputy Dustin Smith replied then, "I'm down to make some bad choices." The deputies then joked about killing the man and burying him on Deputy Grogan's property. Lieutenant Middleton suggested they dump the man's body in nearby Jackson. And let me pull up this so that you can see these chat screenshot of the chats right here. So Cody Grogan says, "We can bury him on my place." And then Cody Grogan said, "And burn his car. I already got a burnt car on my land that I'm 95% sure is stolen." Jeffrey Middleton responded, "Carry him to J-Town. They'll never solve it." Cody Grogan responded, "I like that idea too." And he said, "Scratch the VINs off and jack the plate." So they're saying, hey, we can do this crime. Then we can take the evidence to Jackson, dump it there. Nobody will ever know that it happened. So in an interview that he had, Mr. Grogan called the text in the group chat a poor decision and said, "I never kidnapped anybody and I never shot anybody." Deputy Smith, who still works for the department, declined to comment. No one in the group, including the highest ranking members, raised concerns in the chat. That was what was being said to supervisors outside of the chat. In a 2020 text exchange, deputies asked Lieutenant Middleton if they could beat a man they believed had exposed himself to women at a local gas station. And Lieutenant Middleton replied, "That's fine. Just justify it good in your report." In 2022, Deputy Stefan Williams shared a video of an officer defecating on someone's bed. Several deputies replied, appearing to reminisce about the incident. Deputy Jeremiah Jordan, responded to that video, said, "I was laughing so hard that day I couldn't hardly breathe." Deputy Williams responded, "Good times, LOL." Deputy Jordan replied, I wonder if that crackhead lay back down on the bed." I am editing that. Department records indicate that Mr. Williams no longer works as a deputy there in Rankin County. He did not respond to requests for comment. Deputy Jordan, who was promoted to lieutenant, did not respond to requests for comment. In July of 2021, Deputy Zachary Cotton reversed several overdoses using the opioid blocker Narcan, and some deputies messed with him, picked on him, bullied him, or whatever, for saving the life of people who had overdosed. In the following month, they took turns ridiculing a woman who had tried to bite a jailer. Deputy Stickman wrote, "Some people just need a bullet in the head. Here's the good thing. The Goon Squad, the main 6 who are involved in this that you can see here on your screen, we know they are in jail. We know that they are locked up. We know that justice was served for them for the single incident that they got caught where they tortured the 2 black men here in Rankin County, shot one of them in the face. We know that they have been sentenced for that. We know they're in jail. But there are 9 other people who are at least in this chat thread who, if they were not participants of these vile messages, they were in it and it did not report it. And they are still working there. We don't know the 9 names. We don't know exactly who it is. We do have some reports on some that do no longer work there, some that do, but we don't have all of them. But this is a disgusting thing to read, to see people reacting like that. People that, again, you trust to protect and serve you. And look, I'm a Rankin County resident now. I am here. This is my town. This is my home now, and I sincerely hope that the sheriff deputies and the officers that may have been involved in this in any way have learned a lesson from what happened to the 6 members of the Goon Squad, and they do not continue this type of egregious behavior, whether it be in private chats or whether it be in the horrible actions of these 6 men that you see here on your screen. You guys have a lot of comments, a lot of thoughts about this. Let me look and see what you guys are saying over here. And also I have to make sure that I can share it. You guys don't post anything that I couldn't share on a public forum here without getting us messed up. So Morgan Sistrunk has said, my blood is boiling. These people are not that. They are evil, disgusting, and straight up garbage. What human beings treat others like this? This is so infuriating and just embarrassing. And Morgan, I completely agree with it. This is a very embarrassing thing to see and to read and to have reported on a national level of something that has happened here in our town, in our state, that things like this would still happen. It's disgusting and it's horrible and it is very embarrassing. Melissa Patrick says this makes someone not even want to go to Pearl to even shop with our hard-earned tax dollars. Can't hold the bad that some people did against the good and the business owners, but I do understand your frustration in that. And Mason Bell says that he was best friends with Elward in high school and that this whole thing blew his mind. Mason, that is interesting to hear that you did know him from high school, from school days, and that he was not always this type of person. Michael Roberts alleges that this has been happening for a lot longer than you think, and they hand down did this type of thing. So Cassandra says that justice was not served. They deserved more time behind jail for such horrible acts. Had it been my black sons, they would have been put under the jail. And Cassandra, I can empathize with your remarks there. If you have every right to feel that justice wasn't done, in your opinion. So I appreciate you commenting and sharing your thoughts here. This was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to read this morning. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to think that there was still more coming out about the Goon Squad. We thought that we were quote unquote done with that when they were sentenced, when they were taken to jail. but we are still learning that there is still a lot more to the story of them, and I am sure that a lot more will be coming out in the future about this, about what they do. So, Mason Bell said Elward was never like this. This is from the leadership in the department. They need to be cleaned out. Investigations need to be conducted. Thank you so much for commenting that. And of course, he said that he was a school member or best friends in high school with Elward. Let's see, Patience De Santiago, and I apologize if I'm saying your last name wrong, Patience. She says, unfortunately, our state is well known for things like this, and it isn't surprising anymore. It is absolutely disgusting, and they all need to be removed from a place of authority. I can bet they are not the only police department doing such vile things in our state. You would hate to think that there was more. You would hope that there was not more. But if the Goon Squad has proven anything to us, is that um, absolutely horrible things can be done by people who are put in positions of authority, who are supposed to be out there to protect and serve us. And they failed the citizens, especially the two men that we know for sure that they tortured and assaulted. Definitely failed them, but has failed all of the citizens of Reagan County in their actions. So it was a lot, and I have more that I could go into. We had the FBI raids that happened, and the mayor of Jackson has some comments on those. You can check those out on our website, though, and our news app. We also have some updates regarding the solar panel farm that they are looking to go into Hinds County, which of interesting note, and you guys may be interested in knowing this, is that the solar panel farm sits right, or the projected site, where they are wanting to put it. It sits right on the Mississippi Blues Trail. The Mississippi Blues Trail would go through the solar panel farm, and it is right along the Natchez Trace. Just some interesting information there for you. I'm going to be sitting down with Nathan Green in the next couple of weeks after they make a decision on that solar panel farm, and kind of going in depth with you guys about that and letting you know some more information about it. Let's see. We have right here, so saying that the whole city of Jackson needs to be looked into. What is the sole purpose for the solar panels? Well, the sole purpose for the solar panels in the company's, what the company is saying is that it could provide enough power to power 95,000 homes here in the state of Mississippi. It is going to be covering 10 acres of land, 10 square acres of land. That's 6,500, 10 miles, 6,500 acres of land. And it is in Bolton as well as in Raymond. Let me get this pulled up here for you guys again so you can see. So this is the approximate area that is in Bolton, and the Mississippi Blues Trail is right there. It's the home or the birthplace rather of Charlie Patton. And let me pull up my other screen for you so you can see it. So here is the Mississippi Blues Trail. We have the airport right here, and this is where they are anticipating putting one of those solar panel farms. The Mississippi Blues Trail, that is something that we can be proud of here in Mississippi. The Natchez Trace Parkway is a beautiful place, and it is a well-traveled road through the state of Mississippi, and it's beautiful. Do we really want to put a solar panel farm right up against it? Now, they say there will be a barrier between the solar panels and the road itself. That remains to be seen. There's a lot of homes and a lot of neighborhoods that are going to be affected by this. A lot of citizens who are very unhappy about the solar panels, and they are trying to fight them getting installed there in Hinds County. But those people are wondering, are they going to be a benefactor of the power that the solar panel farm has or is creating? For instance, it says that can create enough power for 95,000 homes. Well, a story that I did on the solar panel farm down in Clark County, even though the solar panel farm was directly across the street from the residents in the Barnett community in Clark County, those residents who could literally open their front door and see all the solar panels were not going to be benefactors of that power. That they could not use the electricity that was coming from the solar panels being created by the solar panels. One of the reasons why companies like this choose these type of areas is because they have to be near transmission lines so that they can collect the power in the solar panels and put it into the system essentially through the transmission lines. But they're the solar panel company, and it is Soul City Solar. They are not yet saying what power company is going to be the one purchasing the energy from them. And that is because it has not yet fully been approved, and they have not created those contracts with companies yet because it has not fully been approved. So that's just a little bit on the solar panel farm. Of course, you can find out more information about that on our website, wlbt.com. So before we go fully, can I end on a good story? Kind of a good story. It's a nice story. We've talked about a lot of bad things here today. So let's talk about something good that happened. There was a gator, a little alligator that was released at Crystal Lake in Flowwood. So this is a 3 on Your Side exclusive that happened here. Let me get this pulled up for you guys. So let's see. Robert Everett says that this alligator showed up on his front porch in Pearl. Could you guys imagine stepping out your front door and there's an alligator on your porch? Of course, I live right next to the res. That is highly within the realm of possibility for me. But he says the alligator showed up on his front porch. He's in Pearl, and had him inside of a Rubbermaid container. He did contact the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks to find out what should he do with this gator, and he relocated him to Crystal Lake in Flowwood. He says this is the first time that something like this has happened in his neighborhood.
That's pretty rare in the city limits. We called wildlife and fishery. They told us just, best thing to do is take it to the closest body of water. Figured this would be a good new home for him.
We were just on vacation and we were talking about alligators and poof, one came up.
So the gator seems to be enjoying his new habitat. Now, as a reminder, alligator hunting season will open this year on August the 30th. Also, little side note, I remember on a Memorial Day driving down the Natchez Trace beside the Ross Barnett Reservoir and coming to a place which I am now learning is being called Party Cove. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Maybe it's just in that area, that's what it's called, but it's called Party Cove. There was a ton of boats out there. There was a lot of people in the water having a blast, splashing around. And yesterday, Tuesday on my, no, today, Wednesday. Yes, today is Wednesday. Yesterday on my way home, I saw 2 alligators in Party Cove. And I was like, I do not think that I want to go party in Party Cove on the res. I've seen too many alligators out there, and I'm accustomed to being around bodies of water that have alligators. Okeechobee Lake over in Lauderdale County, where I'm from, had several, but I've seen a lot more at the res here, and it kind of makes me a little nervous. And bigger ones as well than there ever was at Okeechobee. So, guys, I appreciate you joining me here today. I hope that I was maybe able to end today's WLBT Plus on a uh, better note than the stories that we told here today. You know, sometimes the news isn't pleasant, but we are committed to delivering you the news that you deserve to hear for what's happening here in Jackson and our surrounding communities, even if it isn't unpleasant. And I appreciate you guys joining us here so that you can talk with me, especially here on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page. And remember, you can always watch any of our newscasts on our app and our website. You can watch them on demand or you can stream them live as they're happening. All of these stories are on our website. Download the WLBT app so you can get alerts when breaking news happens. We will let you know about it. And I will be back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock and following up on some of these stories, seeing if we get more information, telling you guys that information, relaying it to you, and seeing what you have to say about it, because we want to be able to communicate with you guys, especially real time. That's what this whole newscast is about. Like I said earlier, it's a different kind of newscast so that we can talk to you guys and you can talk back to us real time. Now, I am going to say, I hope you're nice in your comments, but it is a free country. You say whatever you want to say. I will be back tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe if it does rain in your area, and we will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.